When they're not busy fighting extraterrestrial aliens and saving the multiverse, the Avengers can be a pretty savage bunch of people to be around. Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch not only made us wow at her performance in the latest MCU installment, but a recent behind-the-scenes gag reel showed that behind her wounded character is a woman who just loves to goof off as much as everyone else. So here's a rundown of our favorite Lizzie bloopers from the movie. Up first, Elizabeth Olsen jokes around on set as she loses her balance. In an exclusive BTS footage released to People's Magazine, the cast and crew of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness were seen goofing off like a bunch of kids during filming, and yeah, it's pretty hilarious. The Scarlet Witch is probably the most powerful Avenger to exist. Even Thanos was afraid to go up against her. And let's not forget that she made up a whole town just by using her mind. The closest thing we've imagined are scenarios before going to bed so we can sleep. But that's why the Scarlet Witch is extraordinary for a reason. Not only can she yield chaos magic, but she's pretty chaotic on set too. While striking a pose as the Scarlet Witch, Olsen finds herself in a bit of a situation and ends up breaking character by cursing her luck. Can't get up, she says as she loses her balance and laughs her clumsiness off before she goes for a retake. What's next? The Scarlet Witch is one blooper away from being an airbender. It's true though. As Olsen descended into the Camartage, a gush of wind from her astounding descent made the scattered leaves on set rush toward her, making it look like she's more Aang the Airbender rather than the fierce witch we know. However, the leaves weren't as smooth with their movement as our Queen of Chaos, as they strayed chin first toward Olsen's face before heading straight to her face. One of them even almost became a mid-work snack. Olsen's sad attempts to flick them off were unsuccessful, and she bursts into laughter hanging midair in her scarlet ensemble. Now, it's not just the leaves blocking her mojo. The movie is no stranger to stunts, and it's pretty surprising how most of them were done by the actors themselves. For us, the final product is always packed with stunning CGI and stellar performances, but for these guys, it's props upon props with green screens that just makes everything so unserious. However, they still try to make it as fun as possible. In a scene where the Scarlet Witch flies toward Doctor Strange to confront him, Olsen lets out a childish "wee" as she's scooped up in the air by the stunt equipment. The leaves might have been an occupational hazard dampening her mojo, but this one just made us love Elizabeth more for her adorableness. After all, dressing up as a superhero for your job sounds super fun, and Olsen makes it look just as entertaining doing it too. However, sometimes she can get pretty scary too. Just joking. Multiverse of Madness is mostly a human chase, with Wanda's alter ego trying to get a hold of this new kid on the block that can travel between different universes. America Chavez has no idea how to control her powers, but with the help of Doctor Strange, she feels like she's safe for the first time since her mothers were gone. But come on, it's a Marvel movie, and of course, the bad guy gets the good guy, even if it's only for a few seconds. As a battered and bruised Wanda, all bloodied up, takes hold of an unconscious America, Olsen breaks character briefly and looks straight into the camera saying, "Don't it up, everyone." And not gonna lie, she looks pretty intimidating doing so. Now, if only it had made the final cut. Although it's not only Elizabeth Olsen who likes to goof around. The movie has many close-ups of Benedict Cumberbatch and his handsome face, and we're certainly not complaining, because that face card never declines. However, apparently Benedict thinks he's got jokes. Forgetting he's on the set of a Marvel movie and not an early 2000s music video, Benedict thrusts his face toward the camera downwards and bobs his head, mimicking air drums, making his co-stars Benedict Wong and Xochitl Gomez laugh. Perhaps it's fitting he's called Doctor Strange after all, because no one thinks of doing that with the camera zoomed in on their face. And of course, it's always a party on set. Life as a Marvel actor's gotta be pretty fun, right? There's no all work, no play. In fact, their work is all play, which is why impromptu dance parties in between takes is a Marvel ritual ritual that continued even on the sets of Doctor Strange's highly anticipated sequel. The gag reel showed numerous glimpses of Benedict Cumberbatch randomly breaking out in a dance as he was dressed in his regal blue costume and shiny red cloak. Joining him was Xochitl Gomez, who learned pretty early on in her career as an actress in the MCU that a dance break a day gets you through the way. And we're so glad the actors are having fun as they work hard to bring our comic book worlds to life. Now in other news. First up, Doctor Strange 2 breaks records on Disney+. After making the biggest opening day box office debut of 2022, Doctor Strange 2's drop on Disney+ last month took the ratings to a whole new level. The film made $265 million in ticket sales, bringing up its total global earnings to a whopping $465 million. The movie broke records for viewership, accumulating a total of 2.1 million households that watched the movie within the first 5 days of its release on Disney+, ranking it as the #1 MCU project in terms of record-breaking streams. Previously, the title was held by Eternals, that clocked in on 2 million streams and is now in second place in Marvel's inventory on Disney+. Up next, Elizabeth Olsen talks about returning to the MCU in the future. Ever since the original Avengers made their departure from the MCU, fans have anticipated that it's only a matter of time before Wanda makes her exit too. Elizabeth Olsen was pretty candid about her character's fate and joked that she doesn't know if she's coming back. She believes that she should, but doesn't think fans should insist on a comeback. And we know just how influential Marvel fans can be. Remember when they got us a third Spider-Man film? The ending of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness left the Scarlet Witch with an ambiguous fate, so it's probably too early to bet if we've seen the last of Olsen and her on-screen alter ego. So whether or not we get to see Lizzie once more on our screens, we've got our prayer circles lined up just in case, though they may not be as strong as the Darkhold. Moving on, critically acclaimed author George R.R. Martin shares his 2 cents on the movie. A hit as big as Doctor Strange 2 obviously garnered a lot of attention from fans and celebrities alike, but when the author of Ice and Fire shared his reaction on his personal website, fans quickly called it their Multiverse of Madness as their 2 favorite fantasy realms collided. Martin wrote that even though he owns a movie theater and the best popcorn in Santa Fe, he had fallen behind on his movie-going excursion, but the latest Marvel release quickly brought the spark back as he sat down with his wife Paris and enjoyed Sam Raimi's work, who is one of Martin's favorite directors. Martin even gushed about the movie having Clea, who's played by Charlize Theron, and said watching this movie brought back cherished childhood memories. And we're glad George enjoyed this movie as much as we did. It's still not enough to forgive him for not giving us the Winds of Winter yet. After all, it's been years, George. Even Strange got his sequel. Guess you better get to it then. And finally, we have our resident loudmouth spoiling movies left and right again. When a Marvel movie comes out, it's not the fans that you worry about for spoiling the movie. No, the fans are pretty tight-lipped about the plots and storylines. It's actually Tom Holland that you should fear. Poor Kevin Feige. At this point, he might just lock Tom up in a cage until the movie releases, because this guy is unstoppable. Recently, Iman Vellani, who plays our favorite Pakistani-American superhero, disclosed in an interview that long before No Way Home came out, she already knew of the infamous cameos the movie would have. It might have seemed like a joke to her then, but even she knew deep down that Tom can't lie. Vellani knew that Tom's Spider-Man would reunite with the OGs, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and we've got to say, she's so much more patient than us, because if that Andrew cameo had been spoiled for us, we probably would have gone crazy. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think about the madness on set and Elizabeth's goofy antics? Let us know in the comments down below if that's you. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.